Hello and welcome to Smartsheet. In today's webinar, Onboarding for Free Users, we'll walk you through what's possible with your new role as a free Smartsheet user. Today's webinar will have three objectives. First, we'll learn about the user types and permissions you'll come across when collaborating in Smartsheet. We're going to spend most of our time today in a demo, focusing on how you may be asked to collaborate as a free user. And lastly, we're going to finish up with some resources and next steps. Let's start by talking about roles. So as I mentioned, you're likely here because you've been invited to contribute in a Smartsheet process owned by a colleague or partner within or outside of your organization. In Smartsheet, free users play an important role. So you may be invited to collaborate on a sheet or work app, make updates or view information in reports and dashboards, complete forms, receive automated alerts, reminders, or update requests, review, markup, and proof content, and more. And you can do all of this without having a Smartsheet license. Free users do not have the ability to create or own sheets, reports, dashboards, and work apps in Smartsheet. A licensed user, on the other hand, creates and owns work in Smartsheet. So with a license, a user can create and structure sheets, reports, and dashboards, use Smartsheet templates for their own work, and really define the way that you collaborate on programs and processes managed in Smartsheet. A trial user can do most of the things a licensed user can do, but that access is limited to 30 days. Signing up for a trial is free and available for users who aren't already part of an existing paid Smartsheet plan. If you're on an existing plan, no trial is needed. Your organization can upgrade your role to a licensed user anytime. Now, while user type determines what you can do in all of Smartsheet, you'll also have a permission attached to each individual item, so each sheet, report, dashboard, and workspace. This permission will determine whether you can view or edit or share each of these separate items that you yourself have been shared to. Most free users, such as yourself, access Smartsheet for the first time when they are shared to a sheet or a dashboard. You'll be asked to create a login just this one time, which provides real-time access to work that you've been shared to. To access Smartsheet after your first login, you can just easily visit smartsheet.com and select Login in the top right. Smartsheet is completely online and can be accessed on virtually any device, allowing free and licensed users alike to see immediate updates from others, provide critical information to leadership, and participate in ongoing work. This reduces the need to email spreadsheets back and forth across your organization and really provides a single real-time source of truth for your team. Once logged in, I'll typically start my day in the home section, and this is where I can easily access items I've recently worked in and see a consolidated list of requests for me to act on. To locate all of the work that you've been shared to, navigate to the Browse section here in the left panel. If you don't see any items here, someone at your organization may still need to share a sheet, report, dashboard, or workspace with you. If you have any questions about your role, your permissions, or your access, you can easily locate who your sysadmin is and contact them or Smartsheet support by navigating to your profile in the bottom left and selecting Plan Info. We're going to start our demo today in a sheet called Project Plan, which I've downloaded using a template set available in the Solution Center. Sheets are where all of your data lives in Smartsheet, and they're made up of customizable columns that track specific data, including contacts, dates, drop-down lists, checkboxes, symbols, and more. The sheet layout is created by a licensed sheet owner or admin, and this is going to be used to track all key tasks. And in this sheet specifically, we've organized our tasks by phases for this project. A user with editor can share permissions, can navigate to the top right here and invite both free and licensed users to collaborate. Here we can type in any email address and define the permissions that we discussed a few minutes ago. In our scenario, I'm going to be a free user supporting the licensed user who has created this sheet for managing our project. When this sheet is shared with me, I'm going to receive an alert in the notification center, which is located in our left panel as well. I'll also receive an email and may receive my notifications in other ways that I've enabled. So if I have the Smartsheet app, for example, I'll get a push notification as well. Your role as a free user is to collaborate by updating any of the cell data. So you can update the statuses, assignments, or any other information in the sheet and really drive this project to a successful launch by collaborating in these different ways. With this real-time access, project teams consisting of both free and licensed users can collaborate in Smartsheet and can really use this sheet and other Smartsheet items as a single source of truth for all of their work. When working in a sheet, there are a couple key things to note. First, the primary column in your sheet is the column where you're going to organize in phases or really provide this indenting to structure your work. You'll also find in your columns column descriptions by hovering over the I. And these are descriptions that have been added by Smartsheet or by an admin in your sheet, providing guidance on how a column is to be used. Even though I've been shared to this project plan in our current spreadsheet view, any sheet can also be accessed in our 4 different views. So if you're focused on managing dates and projects, toggling over to the Gantt view for project management related capabilities is probably going to be your preferred view. You can also toggle over to our calendar view, which similarly will provide your tasks based on the dates in your sheet instead on a calendar view. Lastly, you can also toggle over to our card view and view your rows in swim lanes organized by assignments, statuses, or other drop-down columns within your sheet. In addition to working in the column and row structures within the sheet, we're also going to collaborate in the left and right panels. Attaching files to any individual row within the sheet, I can add notes, messages, or questions in the conversation panel to make sure I'm capturing and communicating all important information, and I'll use an app mention to tag a coworker, which drives another immediate alert to that user in the ways that we just discussed. My comments and attachments are available to anyone with access to the sheet, really ensuring we all have access to the same information. Our project plan that we're working on here also consists of a variety of tasks, some involving documents, project charters, contracts, and images. And as a free user, I'm able to access the attachments column and can attach or locate documents on the relevant task row. I may also receive a proofing request, which will ask me to review a file, annotate and mark up and provide feedback, and approve or ask for additional changes. This ability to collaborate within the context of your work, so adding these conversations, attachments, and proofing directly related to the task that they are for, eliminates a lot of the back and forth that we previously would have done in an email and really ensures all key data is contained within the context of this sheet and available to anyone that we have shared this sheet with. When working as part of a project team, both licensed and free users have an important role to play as licensed users create, own, and customize the Smartsheet structure and workflows, while free users really drive this work forward through collaboration, maintaining real-time updates in sheets that they're shared to, capturing important notes and questions in the conversations panel, and attaching and viewing files or reviewing and approving proofs within the sheet. Now, the project sheet that we've worked on so far is created in a very familiar spreadsheet interface, but a licensed user can share a sheet or add workflows to really empower free users such as yourself to collaborate directly in the sheet. working with these comments, attachments, and proofing, and interacting with automation and forms, which is located at the top of our sheet. So far, we've talked about working directly accessing or sharing a sheet, but you're also going to participate in processes asking you to collaborate in different ways. So possibly even collaborating with the sheet you don't have access to. And you might be asked to do this by submitting information through a form or receiving alerts and reminders or completing update or approval requests. We're going to pull up a separate sheet here that we're going to use not to manage tasks related to a project, but rather the step prior. We're going to use this sheet to collect new project requests. We'll start with forms here, and forms can be used to manage project requests like we're going to see here, but they can be used for any type of request management process. For example, as someone who runs webinars, I might have a form for webinar requests from users across my organization or even from external customers. We might use forms to collect surveys and feedback, track RSVPs for events, and more. Really any scenario where you want to collect data and really specify what data you need without sharing your sheet. Here we have a form created by a licensed user. And anyone, whether they are free, licensed, or not even an existing Smartsheet user, can complete the form to request a new project. We'll go ahead and request a new project, and once I have filled this out, it's going to add a new row directly into my project request sheet. A licensed user can customize how a form looks. So each of the questions we're completing is mapped to a column in our sheet. I can also use a form to attach files, which I'm going to then locate in the attachments column we saw. You're going to see that we'll get a prompt to refresh and see this new project request. Since there are a lot of different participants in this process, the licensed sheet owner or admin has added several elements to really help us save time and streamline this process, and they're going to do that using automation. First, anytime that a new row is added, a request will be sent to the manager or the supervisor of the person requesting this new project. This manager can also be a free Smartsheet user. They don't need a license, but they're still able to provide a response to the automated approval request. We'll see this request here in my notification center, and as we saw earlier, I can also navigate to the home section to see any of my open requests, and I'll also receive them in my email inbox or on my mobile device with the Smartsheet app. The manager can respond to this request in any way on any of these devices. In our sheet, in this new request row, we've captured the supervisor approval that was updated using that approval request in our supervisor approval column. We're also going to send automation throughout our entire process, so we can send update requests, notifications of important actions. So as a free user, I may receive a notification letting me know that my new project request was approved. I may receive reminders based on dates within my sheet, and I may receive reminders based on tasks within our original project sheet that we started in. So as a free user, to recap, you may be asked to complete a form to submit a request, provide feedback, and ultimately add a new row to a sheet owned by a licensed Smartsheet user. And I may receive automations, which may take the form of a notification, a reminder, an update request, or an approval request, as we saw here. In our scenario here, both myself as the project requester and myself as the manager can be a free user. So I'm still playing an important role in driving this process forward, but I'm not actually creating this sheet, I'm not customizing the forms, and I'm not creating these automated workflows that are going to be triggered based on actions I'm taking within the sheet. With all of this collaboration that is taking place within our sheet, I can also enable highlight changes through the toolbar located at the top of our sheet. Smartsheet will highlight for you the information that is most relevant because it's been recently updated. To better understand the work that's being managed in this sheet, I can also navigate to our right panel. And our right panel will have some of the capabilities we also looked at. So we'll see conversations, attachments, and proofing. And I can also access the sheet summary, which is populated with an explanation of how my sheet works, as well as formulas that are going to analyze and report on the activities and work being managed in my sheet. In addition to the sheets that we're going to work in as a free user, a licensed user may create and share reports with you, which are a filtered view of the data in one or multiple sheets brought together into a single custom view. They're also a great way to roll up and summarize data. So, for example, you can see we have reports for our projects. For example, a report of at-risk tasks, project milestones, a task roll-up, and a report where anyone who opens the report is going to see tasks in our project that are assigned to them. So this is a great dynamic report created by a licensed user, but it's really powerful because it's only going to show rows assigned to the report viewer. To visualize the workload for our ongoing process, which as we've already seen, we can have multiple sheets and reports, a licensed user can also create a dashboard. And a dashboard is used to highlight, visualize, and share important information from one or more sheets and reports. Dashboards can be created by licensed users for any work that's managed in Smartsheet and shared to any free users. Lastly, a licensed user may create an app that includes all of the items related to a specific process, like sheets, reports, dashboards, and even external content like training materials. When you're shared to a work app, you'll see exactly the items that you're going to need access to. So you're going to see one of these roles that you fall into and the items that you should have access to as a user in that role. These Smartsheet items are all owned by licensed users, and they're the creators of all the work in Smartsheet. So licensed users are able to own, create, and customize your own world-class solutions with sheets, reports, dashboards, and work apps, and set up processes incorporating forms and automated actions. To create your own work, you are able to request a Smartsheet license or may be able to start a trial. So if you are logged into Smartsheet and you have an upgrade button at the top of your screen, there's an account available for you to join at your organization, and you can click the Request a License button and personalize a message to your sysadmin outlining what you want to build in Smartsheet with a new license. Your organization's sysadmin will then have the option to grant or decline your request. Before requesting a Smartsheet license, you also may have the option to start a free 30-day trial to see if the application is a good fit for you, your team, and your work. The Smartsheet trial experience is the same as a business Smartsheet user, so you can really try on all the bells and whistles in Smartsheet and see if they're a good fit for your work processes. Once you receive your license, you can create sheets to track projects, programs, and processes, create sheets, reports, and dashboards using a template set, and securely share these sheets to an unlimited number of users. To get started with any of this, we recommend visiting the Solutions Center to locate templates that can help you solve your workflow challenges without having to build all of this work from scratch. For step-by-step instructions or quick help videos about any of the topics that we've looked at today, you can also visit the Smartsheet Learning Center. And lastly, the Smartsheet community is a great place to connect with other Smartsheet users, ask questions, and learn about what other Smartsheet users are accomplishing in Smartsheet. Thanks everyone for joining today for our onboarding for free users.